Thank you. Welcome everyone to the Economic and Industry Development Committee number 1 for 2023. Calling attendance, I can see that we are all in attendance. Thank you. There's no apologies. I will move on to the acknowledgement of country. So Ipswich City Council respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners as custodians of the land upon which we meet. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, as the keepers of the traditions, cultures and stories of a proud people. There's no declarations of interest. Business outstanding. So just again wanted to highlight one of our new members and welcome Councillor Doyle. Excited to have you here.
Thank you, Councillor Jennings.
And so just moving on to item 1 now, which is the confirmation of the minutes of the Economic and Industry Development Committee number 11 on the 29th of November 22. I will move that. Can I get a seconder? Thank you. Sorry, seconded by Mayor Harding. Now, is there any objections or amendments? Wonderful. I'll call a vote. All those in favour of adopting the minutes? Yep, thank you. That's unanimous. All right, so item 2 now is the event sponsorship for the Ipswich Cup 2023. This is in relation to an application for financial support. Can I get a mover for this item? Thank you, Councillor Fechner. Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Doyle. And now, do we have any questions or discussion, Mayor?
Yes, please.
Carly Gregory, Manager of Marketing and Promotions.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. I was just looking at page 15, which is listed the promotional benefits as part of this agreement. Has that changed much from previous years, or is it pretty similar?
It's a pretty similar list. Okay. It's a long-term kind of list of benefits. Yep. We do have the ability, though, to negotiate that as council sees fit.
So when I saw the use of the Ipswich Events and Entertainment Centre function room at no cost on 2 occasions during the year, has council had that previously? Was that something new? Or?
No, it's something that we did look at. And for us, I suppose, the intent of that originally was we would obviously like to continue to grow the Festival of Horsepower, the leveraging campaign that this sits within, and that's part of council's support. We do have some grand plans to have sort of an industry event during that festival, and of course we would love a venue like that to host it in, to bring all those partners together.
I guess I was going to raise that I wasn't aware of us using that. I was just going to ask how it was used last year, and if we weren't going to use it, could we transfer it to a community group to utilise it or something like that?
I'm not sure we could transfer it, given it's part of this and they're a commercial operation.
Yep.
I suppose we could open negotiations on that, but that's why that was put in initially for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any discussion? No.
I think just to say I'll be supporting this strongly. It's a very unique. It's the largest regional race for Queensland. It's a huge economic driver for us as a city, and they are expecting numbers of up to 16,000 people. So it's great to see people let their hair down, have fun, and enjoy Ipswich hospitality. Yeah,
definitely. And Miss Gregory just gave us a teaser in relation to some other events that might occur during our Festival of Horsepower, to get some industry events in that space too. So that's really exciting. Any other discussion? No. I'll take that matter to the vote. All those in favour? It's unanimous. Thank you. And moving on to our item 3, which is our quarterly event sponsorship and ticket allocation report. So this is the sponsorship that was approved during the period of the 1st of October 2022 to the 31st of December 2022. Would anyone like to speak to relevant officers? Yes, Mayor. Thank you, Ms Gregory.
Carly Gregory, Manager of Marketing and Promotions.
Thank you, Ms Gregory. Look like two wonderful events. I'm just wanting to know the dates of them and also the expected number of people that they're expecting to turn up.
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with Rumble for a start. So it's a professional skate contest. It's slated for the 27th to 31st of July. We have been working with this event organiser for a number of years. Most of that through the Sport and Rec team. We've had the Ipswich Open, the Springfield Open,
Yes.
which were skateboarding competitions in past years that were qualifying events, so development events for the Rumble series. Rumble's in Western Australia, South Australia, Mackay, where they have Rumble on the Reef, and now in Ipswich, which is phenomenal. And we've been working with this company knowing that the recreational reserve was getting its skate park upgrade. Yes. So we were working the whole time waiting for this moment for it to be delivered. So it's a great... It's a really great coup for the city. Around 1,500 participants in the sense of probably nearly 400 participants, 240 support, and I think about 1,000 spectators, which is fabulous. The great thing about this is they were desperately looking for a home for this kind of event in southeast Queensland. We know that skateboarding debuted at Tokyo. We know it's going to be back in Paris. We know it's a great sport because it doesn't discriminate. You can be a 12-year-old prodigy winning world titles, and, you know, to all ages, it continues through. So it's very exciting. So for Ipswich, on our path to 2032, I think this is great. It's just great also to see a formal activation of council's investment in that skate park.
So it'll be at the Redback Plains Rec Reserve?
It will be at the Rec Reserve.
Fantastic. Will there be food trucks, or what's going to happen? What else will be there?
There'll be lots of things, yeah, like a full event. Again, we've had multiple meetings over probably the last 2.5 years prepping for this point. There will absolutely be an activation, and I think kudos to IED as well. Even in the planning stages, companies like this that put on Rumble were, you know, brought on board the journey and were able to give feedback, as were the city events team. Yep. So I think the initial plans were great for a skate park, but didn't allow for an activation or a large event in terms of where would the broadcast team sit? Where would spectators sit? If you had a music festival on the side, what would that look like? So I think we're going to do what we can for this year. It'll absolutely have activations. I mean, Rumble in itself has lots of corporate sponsors. They've done this for 10 years, and I think about 3 in the Rumble brand. But yes, we look to grow it out, especially in that corridor that it has lots of, it's growing and it has lots of young families.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, and I should say state basketball. You want me to
please.
go through that? Again, state carnivals like this are fabulous because they're children who bring their families to visit, experience everything has to offer, Ipswich has to offer. Again, about 430 participants, 800 spectators and support, are just over 1,200 of those from outside the Ipswich LGA, with about a 500k economic impact to the city, which is great.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ms. Gregory. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms Gregory. Any other questions? No. And I'll move that item. Can I get a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Fechner. Open for discussion. Anyone going to go out and do a flamingo?
I don't even know what that is, Chair.
I learnt that when I think the Rumble was at Springfield, and the big sponsor Etnies, and all the kids and adults alike were trying to pull off flamingos, and it was very impressive. So really, really excited. When that was in Springfield, it had a large crowd, and so with the new facility and the numbers and to accommodate the spectators and the media and all that, it's really exciting. Yeah,
I was at the Etnies last year at Springfield as well. It had a massive crowd, but I didn't find out what a flamingo is. Yeah,
it's impressive. It's impressive. All right. Now I'll move on to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Moving on to item 4 now, which is our Ipswich City Council federal budget submission. Would anyone like to ask any relevant officers any questions? No. Can I get a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor Doyle. And a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Kunzelman. Open for discussion.
I guess very pleased to see that we've taken that strategic approach. The advocacy service has started up in 2020 in our council, and we can see here, even in that short period of time, we have secured now that $10 million for the Ipswich to Springfield Central public transport corridor to get that shovel ready. We've had the Ipswich Central Second River Crossing, which we hear about every day, to be with the Infrastructure Australia on the national priority list, which is fantastic. And we're doing a lot of work, obviously, in getting a better deal with the waste and circular economy transformation. So, and also at the federal government have also provided $20 million for the North Ipswich Sport and Entertainment Precinct as well. And we can see that things are progressing with highways. So I think this is a great approach. I think as a council we should be looking at different ways that we can advocate, but we keep doing it together as a team, and I think we'll continue to get better a deal for the people of Ipswich.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I have to agree that I'm really proud of us for all coming together and collaborating and putting this piece forward. And it's kudos to our advocacy committee as well, our working group. So very exciting.
Yeah, it's nice to have another layer of governance in that. And the Advocacy Steering Committee is a great place for us to canvass our ideas and to be more strategic in this space. So, although, these are the asks for the federal budget, we are working on those bigger and greater priorities and trying to hone in on some of those things that are really important to our residents in our respective divisions. I know that Councillor Madsen and Councillor Ireland, for instance, are really keen to get around the improvement of the public transport, particularly with the bus network out at Redbank Plains. So, advocacy as a whole for this council, I think, is on track, and it's one of the more engaging meetings that we go to each month, in a forum where we can canvass our ideas with each other.
Thank you.
If I may, Chair, advocacy is such an important part for council. We only receive 3% of all taxes are paid. The state and the federal governments receive 97%, and yet we look after 78% of the road network and a whole heap of other services. And so it's, we usually can't do those really big projects unless we get that capital injection from the state or the federal government, and often those assets then come onto our books and we maintain them, whether it's sporting fields or a stadium or something like that. So it is really important that we're very clear and we have those good business cases. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. No further discussion? So I'll take that item to the vote. All those in favour? Wonderful, and it's unanimous. Thank you very much. And that is no notice of motions. Just on matters arising, I did note that the Mayor's motion for the Event Friendly Council to be coming back to the February committee, that is not quite ready yet. So the deadline for that has just been moved to March. So we'll receive that in the March committee. It's well on track. It just needs a little bit of further collaboration and refining. So I can't wait for that to come back to the March committee. And all said and done, that's the end of the committee, ending at 12:08 for our next committee to open at 12:18. Thank you.